second half, Daniel Ballant scores off of an error from Tigers to pull one back. His 9th goal of the season already for Daniel Ballant. Great effort from him. Then in stoppage time, Tigers get themselves a penalty. Nikos Kalfas brought down, then Kalfas sees his penalty save, puts it over the bar, and within 90 seconds, up the other end, Balant's shot is palmed out, and there's Robert Tkachenko to nod home and earn Panthers a draw, which means that Tigers are on 18 points, Monero Panthers on 16. Canberra Croatia still lead the way with 18 with a bigger goal difference.
Yeah, and a couple of pretty happy Deakin players that aren't involved in this evening's game in the VIP room in our problem result. I think they thought they came in thinking that Tigers had won that 2-1. To be honest, I thought Tigers were going to lock that away 3-1 with Kalfas lining up for a penalty. And I guess both teams will be looking at that and thinking that's one that got away with 2 penalties.
Are we surprised though with Tigers the way we've seen them this year? They have been the Jekyll and Hyde of this competition. First half they were magnificent. They were 2-0 up. They missed it. Yes, Monero missed the penalty, but they played really well in the first half. And then, of course, again, it's stoppage time goals. It's been something that we've seen in the National Premier League over the last 3 or 4 years, hasn't it? The teams going to the very, very end, and it's happening again this year.
Yeah.
Late goals.
Yeah, and I'll give Monero some credit there. I thought first half, their press in particular was really, really good. They Tigers for a large portion of that first half couldn't get out of their half, and that's what made it real interesting. I know that we were sort of watching the game on YouTube and sort of having a bit of text chat. Tigers had a free kick in the Monero half, decided to play it all the way back to the goalkeeper, and all of a sudden the Monero press was engaged, and Legion's lost the ball, and Barracks has got the game back at 2-1, and we got all the momentum.
And we talked about that in there, didn't we? Because we're like, well, why didn't you just chip that into the penalty and cause some havoc?
Attention, ladies and gentlemen, with the owner of the silver Hyundai, 530, registration YOL 52W. Silver Hyundai I-30, YOL 52W. Could you please remove your car? You're blocking the ambulance entrance.
I don't know. I suppose it's a style of play, and no one's going to. It's a game of opinions and how you want to play. It's how you want to play.
I'm imagining Ali Epi is not telling them to play a ball free kick 10 minutes inside the opposite half, all the way back to the goalkeeper.
I wouldn't imagine that.
And I'd imagine there'd be words said afterwards about it 2-0 up as well. I can understand trying to keep possession. There was still a long, long way to go. It was a 55th minute of the match.
Exactly. And to be honest, it was that point of the game that Tigers were actually really sort of asserting their ascendancy. There was a couple of yellow cards there from the Monero players. Marco Guy and Luca Nokia both got substituted within a few minutes of each other after receiving yellow cards. And you could just see Tigers just starting to get a bit more confidence, starting to advance into that Monero half a little bit more, and then a real game changer.
Some results from the Capital Premier League today. Water City Wanderers 2, Canberra Olympics 6, Mate Barasic with the first, Milseric with the second, Julian Bulldog got a brace, Nick Faust got one, and Bailey Soliton, Zach Steele and Thomas Youngai pulled one back with one in vain there. Canberra Juventus, well, they've beaten West Canberra Wanderers by 3 goals to 0. Christian Baresi with 2, Jack Matic with the other goal for Canberra Juventus in their 3-0 win over the Wanderers.
But a few people are going to be asking about this window in that whole scenario.
I'm still waiting on a result from ANU and Canberra White Eagles who kicked off at 3. Belconnen and Brindabella Blues starting at 4:30. I understand Jake Bishop scored in first half injury time. Belconnen 1, Brindabella Blues 0. That's the results in the CPL. Earlier today in the under-23s, Tigers 2, Monero Panthers 1. Cooper Heatley with an 11th goal of the season already for him. He's having a great year. And here in the mini derby, Canberra Croatia 0, O'Connor Knights 0. Let's have a look at the teams because we're going to have a minute's silence before kick-off, so I'm going to get through these teams before then. Canberra Croatia without Sam Brown today, injured, which means Jason Matajan starts in goal. The back four, Tony Spaseski, Daniel Subasic, Matt Godobisha and Riley Souza. Midfield of Ryan Keir, Daniel Corbatazo and Marco Yavlich, and Yavlich got injured. They might be out for about 4 weeks. Max Green, Thomas James and Nick Pradashina up top. On the bench, Davidson Seldia, Nicholas Subasic, Keegan Vucetic, Andrea Rakic and Anthony Rakic. Andy Rakic is in charge today in the absence of Dina Grunic, who has a camp for the Dockeroos. That's the Canberra Croatia lineup for you for Derby Day.
Yeah, really strong and stable. Most teams, if they lose the calibre of goalkeeper like Sam Brown will be current station, but in the Taser they've got a really good deputy there, and obviously Sparrow out suspended, but the players that get to bring in, obviously a really strong lineup, and Robbie Boyd got that result there.
O'Connor Knights, no Spaghetti Manga. Transfer speculation swirling around him. I mean, it's a badly kept secret, but it's not our place to say. Michael Adams not here, injured. Niko Kletic not here, injured. They're struggling for numbers in some respects. There's been a lot of talk about Lukman Ahmed Shaibu this week as well, but he does start for O'Connor in a 4-3-3 formation. Christian Nelg starts in goal. The back four, Christian Junner and James Driscoll at fullback. Buddy Abbas and Connor Bill in central defence. Nick Dahl, Daniel Galic and Harry Martin in a very inexperienced midfield trio. Lukman Ahmed Shaibu and Michael John either side of Jenna Taruti up top. The bench again, a lot of youngsters on it. Kobe Yari, Nikola Perinovic, Vinny Sanchez, Joseph Oida and Cameron Brown, the goalkeeper. It's not the O'Connor Knights that we know and won the league championship a couple of years ago, Frank, is it? And they're missing some big names.
Yeah, look, I guess Russ, I mean, you and I commentated and watched this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to Deakin Stadium, the home of Canberra Croatia Football Club, for this 11th NPL Croatian derby between Canberra Croatia and the O'Connor Knights.
There is a lot of speculation whether or not they'll be there still after the
Happy Croatian Statehood Day for yesterday to everyone. Želim vam svima sretan dan državnosti za jučer. The starting lineup for Canberra Croatia. In goal, number 23, Jason Matića, number 19, Tony Stoteski,
7 games in the league this season, 28 goals,
number 4, Matt
10
Bibisha,
matches this
number
season.
13, Riley
Canberra Croatia
Souza,
scored
number 6,
42
Ryan
times,
Keir, number 4,
27
Daniel
6 matches played
Corpacaldo,
at this
number
venue.
18, Marko
Our referee today is
Jadrić,
Bruno
number
Kell,
22, Max
Cameron Wallace
Green,
and Ricardo
number 9, Thomas James,
Alberto
number
are
10,
the
Nick
assistants.
Patezina.
We will be having a minute's silence
number
before
15,
kick-off
David
today as well for
number
Ivan
17,
Stibar,
Nikola
the
Subasic,
foundation
number
club
8,
member
Keegan
of Canberra
Vucetic,
Croatia from a long,
number
long way
3,
away from
Andrija
1956,
Rakic,
I think it was,
and Antoni
off
Rakic.
the top of my head.
Canberra
He
Croatia
passed
coached by
away
Dean
sadly
Ultinic, his
earlier
assistant
this
Andrija
month, and they'll
Rakic.
be recognising
For the
him
O'Connor
with a
Knights,
minute's
in
silence
goal, number
before
1,
kick-off. But
Christian
Frank,
Nell, number
it's
22,
Derby Day again.
Christian Junner, number 25,
There is some
Buddy
residue of
Abbas,
a flare
number
that's gone
5,
off
Connor
somewhere
Bill,
outside the
number
ground,
18,
floating
James
around,
Driscoll,
adding a bit of
number
smoke to the
17,
atmosphere.
Nick Dahl, number 15, Daniel
That's
Galic,
barbecue,
number 6,
whatever they
Harry
cook is
Martin,
orange.
number 10, Lukman Ahmed Shaibu, number 12,
Maybe.
Jenna Taruti, number 23, Michael John.
Some people coming in.
Clubs number 16,
5:30 kick-off here tonight to
number
enable some of the
24,
youngsters to
Nikola
get her after their
Perinovic,
games today.
number 8,
Plenty of
Vinny
matches.
Sanchez, number 14,
We will hold off for a
Yossi
moment because
number
we're going to
50,
recognise
Cameron Brown,
the
coached
contribution
by
of Ivan
Nick
Stibar
Stibar.
from the foundation
Our
club
refs
member of
for
Canberra
tonight's match,
Croatia,
Bruno
the
Kell
minutes
and
start
his
on referee
assistant,
Bruno Kell's whistle,
Cameron
and
Wallace
will
and
end
Ricardo
on his whistle as
Alberto.
well as
In
the
commentary,
local
the
Canberra
voice of
community,
Canberra
the Croatian
football,
community
Russ
pays
Gibbs
tribute to
and
Ivan
Frank
Stibar.
Keisha. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with a heavy heart that we say farewell to one of our club's founding members. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for a minute's silence for Ivan Stibar, who passed away recently. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Ivan Stibar. Understand there might be a couple of people struggling to hear us. We're just working on turning up the volume a little bit, perhaps. Seeing what's going on. But Frank, it's Derby Day, which means anything can happen. But the smart money might well be on those in red, even though this is the 11th time they've met. Croatia have won 4, Knights have won 4. There's been 2 draws. But the way that Canberra Croatia have started the season compared to the way that O'Connor Knights have started the season, well, you'd suggest that those in red will take some stopping.
Yeah, I guess from my point of view, I think when Monero last got to Cleveland City, Canberra Croatia came out and couldn't capitalise on that when they lost to Cobra. So this is a real opportunity now for Canberra Croatia to put a gap between them and the chasing pack. And that's almost the perfect result for them this afternoon, the 1-1. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how they take it on. I guess they really want to come out of the blocks firing because this night's confidence is probably just a little bit on the wane, and I guess if you can get amongst them early, then that can really set you up for the game.
Big day for Jason Matasia, starting in place of Sam Brown. There's an injury. Churlishly, some might suggest that's why his passing was a bit off last week. What the Knights would give for 3 points today. Despite their poor start to the season, a win would put them back in the four. Tuggeranong United overtook them yesterday with their 4-2 win over Gungahlin United. 10 goals in 2 NPL matches so far this season. Apparently the sound isn't working very well either. Aaron will have to have a look at that at some stage. Maybe it's up in the studio. What's your thoughts, Frank? It's likely to be a tough afternoon.
Yeah, these are all the really strong side, and when they've got their backs against the wall, I think they really come to the fore. We've seen that before. But this is always the hardest place to come in terms of you're looking for a result. And you're probably not the place you want to come if you're looking to build your confidence.
Daniel Subasic. Necessity for Ryan Keane. They chase for Daniel Corpetaldo. Not sure he knew an awful lot about that. Bayabas was the raking ball out towards Stephen Ahmed Shaibu. Scored plenty of goals for this club in Reds. This is 50th NPL match today for Stephen Ahmed Shaibu.
It'll be interesting matchup if he comes up against Moses Everson, I reckon, that one.
50 appearances for Ahmed Shaibu.
This is his half-century, 42 goals to his name. Not a bad strike rate.
It's funny, I mean, I think everyone would pretty much acknowledge that Matty Gerbers is probably one of the hardest, if not the hardest, defender to come up against. But he seems to reserve a little bit extra for players that have gone to another club after being at Deakin for some reason.
It's almost like a how dare you leave this parish.
I couldn't get you a training, so I've got licence tonight.
Nick Dahl's ball forwards. James Driscoll. Dahl. The most experienced of the trio in midfield by a long way. Buddy Abbas. Looking for Ahmed Shaibu over the head of Spaseski. It's a good pass as well. Ahmed Shaibu. A lot of speculation around his future this week, with the transfer window shortly to open. Has played for Monero Panthers, Gungahlin United. It's a good ball forward as well. Canberra Croatia, of course. And O'Connor now.
Yeah, Buddy started well. A couple of really nice long raking diags. Really trying to expose the Canberra Croatia defenders out wide.
Apparently the audio's all fixed up now, so that's good at home. Thanks to the production team and Tom up in Brisbane for fixing that all up. Here's Daniel Subasic. Unfortunately, people can hear us now.
I was about to say, careful what you wish for back at home.
Matt Gerbisher. Subasic. Corpetaldo let it run under his foot. And Harry Martin can find Ahmed Shaibu. Chance to flick it forward towards Galich, making the run from midfield. Gerbisher got there. Martin's won it back. Here's Michael John. Fine start this by the men in black. Not a bad ball in, dealt with by Subasic.
It has been a very good start here from O'Connor, Ross. Definitely on the front foot.
Driscoll. Not quite the raucous atmosphere that we've been used to in the past of these games.
Yeah, we've done a few games out at O'Connor where it's really been, I think the crowd's a little bit closer there as well.
Maybe it's because it's a Saturday night. Everyone's a bit tired. Junna. John. Can't get it past Riley Souza, who's got a taste for goals. And here's Prelagina, who has half a dozen of them to his name. First chance for Max Green to have a go. Colbertaldo. Oh, it's a great ball in behind. Thomas James. His ball in towards Prelagina, denied by Abbas. James again. 9 assists to his name already this season, Frank Thomas James. To go with his 5 goals as well. And that doesn't count the 2 goals he's got in the cup also. He's had a good season so far.
Yeah, he's looked very, very sharp, hasn't he?
Colbertaldo. Green to turn. Thought about the shot. Elects to choose James instead. Drifts into Colbertaldo. Back for James. Souza, little 1-2, almost came off. Abbas away.
Yeah, they nearly sliced them wide open there.
Gudbisha away from Cerruti. Snaps back into it, Jenna Cerruti, but Matty Gudbisha is off on a weaving run.
And takes out Tommy James.
Matty Gudbisha told me earlier this season that he doesn't want to leave his central defensive position anymore. He's gone off on a bit of a run there. Fancies a Derby goal. Matty Gudbisha. McDowell over the top. Riley Souza, who's got 3 goals this season, 2 in the cup, 1 in the league.
But we just saw a little glimpse of what Canberra Croatia are capable of doing. Just the movement, and not just the movement of the players, but the movement of the ball, short, sharp passes, changes direction. They look outstanding this year, Ross.
Yeah, the one-touch stuff has been a joy to behold. Junna.
A little bit going on off the ball there, Russ.
Michael John to turn, and it's found Galich. Colbertaldo got there, second bite of the cherry for Galich, and Martin will skew it wide. O'Connor have conceded 23 goals in their last 8 games in all competition, whereas Canberra Croatia have conceded 4 all season.
Just off the ball when the ball's around halfway, just Cerruti and Gudbisha just a little coming together. Nothing much in it, but be interesting to keep an eye on that.
Oh, Matty Gudbisha loves a derby. Hasn't played in one for a while, has he?
And what a difference he's made just coming back into the squad this year.
Buddy Abbas. He's Tony Spiseski from right fullback,
chasing
Christian Junna right in front of us. In front of the 200 on the ground, which will become apparent tomorrow. Brittany Palombi, Canberra Croatia Women's Football Club legend, will be playing here, and she made her 200th appearance the other week. The first home game they've had a chance to celebrate. That's very nice of them to put that in the field.
Yeah, she's been a real stalwart and quality player for Canberra Croatia over a number of years.
Riley Souza. Prelagina. Green let it run for James, who's found Riley Souza on the overlap. And his pullback didn't quite work out. Sorry, it was Marky Aldrich on the overlap. We've got an early afternoon date tomorrow, don't we, Frank Keisha? 2 o'clock. O'Connor enclosed. You'll be coaching on the sideline. Canberra Olympic versus Belconnen United in the National Premier League. Top of the table clash there. Myself and Sam Watson will take you through that one a little bit later.
Cerruti's done well there. Michael John released.
By Harry Martin, and he's got a lot of grass to run into, Michael John here. Cerruti's gone near post. Met by Gudbisha, and Ryan Keir can have a touch. He hasn't had many in the opening moments. Are you looking forward to that one tomorrow, Frank?
Yeah, big game, and obviously 2 teams that are well advanced, and obviously so far this season Belconnen have really set the benchmark.
Well, let's go through your starting lineup tomorrow and what formation and tactics you're going to play.
Let's do it.
Buddy Abbas to send it across field for Ahmed Shaibu. Up against Spiseski, and he stepped inside him rather nicely, and he's fizzed it across goal, and it's loose in front of goal, and Cerruti's bundled it in. First blood in the derby goes O'Connor Knight's way. Ahmed Shaibu's efforts, Matejka couldn't keep it out, and Jenna Cerruti, ugly but effective from 3 yards, and it's the Knights in front.
Well, good lead-up work there from Lookman. He's come inside of Spiseski and let rip with a shot. Matej hasn't dealt with it, and Charuti, all credit to him for being Johnny on the spot there. And aren't they giving it to the Canberra Croatia crowd? I'd say Lukeman's probably copping a bit already over that side, so probably the best recourse. And now for Canberra Croatia, again, this is a real test for them after the result earlier today. And we spoke about, letting one slip when Monero lost to Queensland City. They've really got to get their act together again.
The cat's been thrust amongst the pigeons at Deakin Stadium. The red machine has been halted in its tracks. Has that just poked the bear? The Knights lead. Only the 5th goal that Canberra Croatia have conceded all season.
I'm just watching, that's another run that Matty Gilbert has made into just driving into midfield. I just wonder if that's a bit of a plan from O'Connor Knights not to press Canberra Croatia and really stack that midfield and get numbers behind the ball, which allows Matty to drive.
Colbertaldo, Spaseski. And isn't this just why we love football? Form book ripped up out the window. O'Connor missing key players. Incredible starts to this contest. Subasic. That's a lovely ball to find Thomas James in behind. And it's going to sit up nicely for James, but he skews his shot wide. Just a warning for O'Connor Knights.
Gee, I don't think you get many... I think 8 times out of 10 that goes in the back of the net. Thomas James in that sort of position with that sort of space.
They've got a big couple of weeks coming up, haven't they, Canberra Croatia? They've got this today, then it's the Cup final next Saturday, and then on the Wednesday they travel to Strider Park to play Monero Panthers away, and on the Saturday after that, I think it's the Sunday, they're down in Griffith, the Ugali away.
They're coming to midweek games.
It's the round 20 games that have been brought forward in. It's the one, you remember Tigers played Ugali in the opening round of the season? It's the round 20 games, which are actually round 9, and we're playing them all in midweek. Under the lights. You've got some coming up, haven't you? Or have you already had yours? You play Gungahlin?
No, because ANU got killed.
Oh, because they... Yes, that's right. No need anymore.
No. We do have a catch-up game coming up against Canberra Croatia that should have been played last week, but with the washouts we couldn't.
Riley Souza launches one forward. Will bounce for James. Won by Dahl, but James will come back for a bit more. Being behind won't faze Canberra Croatia. Max Green accelerating behind and delivering for Pradeshina, who skews it just wide with his right foot. Lovely football, though.
Electric, isn't it? Max Green's been a real revelation again this season. He had a season away last year in Sydney and probably didn't work out as well as you would have hoped, but he's come back with a real impact this year.
4 starts, 3 off the bench, 4 goals, plus another 4 in the cup as well. Fair to say he's hit the ground running, as have the Knights today. Their record at Deakin isn't too bad. 3 games, 2 wins, and either one loss. Not bad at all. They have won just twice in the last 8 games in all competitions, following their win over Ugali last week. This game often brings goals. Before today, there was 34 in 10 games. Croatia have scored 20 of them, Knights 15. Knights now have 16 goals to their name in the all-important one tonight. And looking for another, Christian Junner with plenty of room. And the delivery's good too. And Ahmed Shaibu was just a bit
I think he jumped
on his
too
back
early.
foot. I think I was going to say,
too early.
He jumped underneath it.
Yeah, he didn't time his run. He's jumped right. But great little ball there from Michael John to release Christian Junner down the right-hand side for O'Connor Knights. Good delivery there from Christian, but yeah, just a touch underneath it. Lookman.
He's got his gander up, hasn't he? And he's fizzed that at goal. And Matej has made the save and recovered. He is on fire tonight, Lookman Armstrong. Yeah, maybe a point to prove.
I'll tell you what, I think Yadrick could probably want to look at that one again, or not want to look at that one again, because he could have gone in a lot harder than he did, I reckon.
James ghosts past Dahl, and that's a yellow card for Nick Dahl. A cynical piece of work, and Thomas James wants to be a bit careful with the reaction.
Correct.
That's a 4th yellow card of the season for Nick Dahl, which means he will be suspended by my calculations for the trip to Gungahlin United next week, or the week after next, I should say, or midweek.
His old club.
Yeah. And free kick goes away of Canberra Croatia. I'm sure Dino Grinic is watching in camp and probably pulling his hair out at the moment. They've gone short with Spaseski. Flicked on by James, and it almost caused an issue. But in the end, Christian Nell was comfortable with it. Sousa back.
What a job Dean Grinic has done this year and last year with since taking back the reins at Canberra Croatia. Been brilliant.
Well, at the moment, O'Connor Knights in front. They started off really well. Frank got their goal. Canberra Croatia have threatened a couple of times. Is there a blueprint of a way to play against this Canberra Croatia side? And I'm only saying that because I'm wondering if Queen Bee City are watching ahead of next week's cup final and thinking, well, maybe this is the way to play. Maybe Goran Jozefovski's got something up his sleeve. I'm sure he does.
I'll just hold that thought for another 10, 15 minutes, Ross.
Max Green back for Ryan Keir. I remember, and I've said this in commentary before, and I said it with you, it's like watching the old Canberra Croatia, where you think you've got them, and then in 15 minutes they can score 3 times, and a game you thought you had is now out of reach. Flick from James, Colbertaldo, runners either side. Yardrich is one of them. Juna away. Sousa back for Gurabisha. Ryan Keir. Colbertaldo runs into Juna. Dahl, Galic. Good challenge by Gurabisha. Ahmed Shaibu bouncing off a couple, wins a free kick as well. Daniel Galic is a big lad in the middle of the park.
He's done well too. He started his game really well. I haven't seen too much of him before tonight, Russ, but I've been impressed with what I've seen so far.
Well, the reason you haven't is because he's only ever played 2 NPL games. One of them was last week, and he had a brace of assists against Ugali. Gets credited with an assist for the own goal with his header downwards that was turned in by Isaac Donadell. And then he set up Ahmed Shaibu for his hat-trick. Good ball forward, and James will get after it. Only Green in support at the moment. Thomas James might go on his own. Pass was a bit too long. Max Green will keep it in, though, and find Pradagina. Back for Sousa. Ryan Keir. Keir again. Pradagina. Keir for the 3rd time. Dennis Cerruti's rolled his ankle there, hasn't he? He's down. James is looking for Pradagina. It's a fierce tackle from Buddy Abbas.
Interesting that Geno got up, because when he first got up, he went down like a proverbial sack of spuds, didn't he, Russ?
He did. I thought he'd actually.
I thought he'd really.
You know, when you put your foot on down and there's the pain, but he seems to be okay.
Chance here.
There is Cerruti. Goal would have given him an awful lot of confidence as well. It was his penalty miss the other week that was somewhat culpable towards the loss to Gungahlin United.
Yeah, still hobbling a little bit, Russ.
We'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Overhit cross.
Players in the box.
Here's Michael John. He's going to recover it though. Gunnar. Martin helps it round the corner. Sousa's had to do a fair bit of defending so far tonight. Bit of noise on this side, bit of noise in the far corner as well in the Ivan Bullam stands. Max Green is upended and will get a free kick. One men's Premier League game tomorrow down at Griffith Selamad Stadium as Ugali take on Queen Bee City, which will be an interesting game. Both those sides will look for the 3 points to keep them on the tail of the top 4. Colbertaldo's forward. course, we take an NPL break next weekend. It's Cup final weekend from Michaela Park. 12:30 kickoff. Canberra Croatia versus Belconnen United, the Women's Federation Cup, and then 3:30, Canberra Croatia versus Queanbeyan City in the Australia Cup qualifying final. Ahmed Shaibu slips as he delivers. Junna, good header. Equally so, Gerbischer. Facing around a 32 up for grabs in the nation's capital. Harry Martin, Nick Dahl. Cup final weekend's always a special weekend, Frank. Always plenty of ups and downs and twists and turns. You have a particular affinity with the Cup. You've won it a couple of times, haven't you? Is it 3?
3.
Twice with Olympic, once with the Panthers.
Correct. Just having a look at this, the benches. I'm sure Keegan Vucic, I always get his name wrong. Apologies, Keegan. Itching to get on. It's just one area that Canberra Croatia just aren't getting right. Just at the minute.
They've been strong there all year, haven't they?
Oh, they've been strong there for seasons, but just I don't know. Just seems to be a bit of a disconnect at the moment.
Michael John, Harry Martin, nice idea that. Gerbischer gets there before Junna. 2 warriors going toe for toe. Galic coming together with Matt Gerbischer, with Daniel Galic. You talk about players at the opposite end of the spectrum. Daniel Galic, 2 NPL games before tonight. Matt Gerbischer, 262 more.
Don't you laugh. Matty, Galic would have come out worse for wear out of that challenge. And Matty Gerbischer gets a free kick. They really are trying to exploit down this right-hand side for Canberra Croatia.
They're trying to isolate Max Green against either James Driscoll or Connor Bill in that area.
Yeah. And even when Thomas James goes wide out on that side, it's definitely looks like they're trying to utilise the right-hand side more than the left at the moment. Whether that's just by chance or by choice.
Here is James. A bit too handsy on Galic. You did mention, though, 6 games here already this season, 27 goals for Canberra Croatia. They met earlier in the campaign, of course, in round 1 at O'Connor Enclosed. It was a 4-1 Canberra Croatia win that day. They scored in the 11th minute, Buddy Abbas own goal. They were 2 up a minute later. Daniel Sparrow, Thomas James and Nicky Yardrich with the other goals. O'Connor Knights did pull one back. Lukman Ahmed Shaibu on the stroke of half-time. There's a quirk of the derby, though, that O'Connor Knights have better results here than they do away. Is that anything to do, Frank, with the venue, or is it just one of those things?
Oh, look, I think it's just one of those things. You know, it's a derby. Derbies, and this is where it becomes hard for teams that have got like recognised rivals. I think, you know, if you're playing Queanbeyan City against Monero, and it wasn't, 2 Queanbeyan sides.
Free kick sent in, Pranajina away.
Would you get the same result that you got a couple of weeks ago? These 2 sides have been, ever since O'Connor Knights have joined the NPL.
That's a good ball from Abbas. Lovely turn from John as well. And he has a go, and Matesha's behind that one.
Wasn't a bad strike with his left foot there, Michael John. He's got a lot of power in both his legs there, but his right foot's obviously stronger, but that wasn't bad.
Worth a go on this pitch.
And he scored a lot of goals here as well, this pitch.
Early evening dew as well, might skip off the surface.
I remember in our final series at Monero, Michael, he scored against the O'Connor Knights in the first semi-final, then scored against Gungahlin in the prelim.
Yeah, some players like particular venues, don't they? Zach McLaren doesn't mind this venue, does he? Scores his goals here. That's a yellow card for Daniel Galic. Lukman Ahmed Shaibu is not happy with this. Needs to just rein it in a bit.
There's no point carrying on about it.
Daniel Galic becomes the second O'Connor Knights player to get a booking, and Ahmed Shaibu needs to relax a tad.
He's not going to change his mind. Yeah, I was about to say David Jenkins likes early kick-offs at this ground, and that particular goal down the other end.
But you're being a bit kind with David Jenkins. He only ever liked one venue for a goal.
Good old Jenko.
Didn't get many, did he? Is he a fireman now? What's he doing?
Fireman, yeah, he is. He definitely is. And
Farman Dave.
Yeah, active on the Monero 2020 group chat still.
Oh, we'll never forget it. 10:30 in the morning at that end.
And I should say a big happy birthday to Andre Carl today, Russ.
He's doing all right as well, still, isn't he? Scoring
Yeah,
goals.
he's going good.
Down in Adelaide.
Yep.
He scored a very famous goal at that same end that David Jenkins scored at.
He certainly did.
This venue been the site of many memorable moments down the years, not just for Canberra Croatia, but for other clubs as well. Canberra Olympic, of course, in the Australia Cup run.
I love Deakin Stadium. It's one of my favourites. We've won a few grand finals here, and obviously the Cup run in 2016, Russ.
Yeah, Canberra Croatia let you use the venue, which was really nice of them.
They even gave us the home change room in the grand final that year, because we kept on using the away change room in the Cup.
Didn't work for you, did it?
No,
for them.
It didn't work for them.
Worked for you.
Yeah, Ruby Katanach won that 3-0. There's a bit going on here. Thomas James
And Nick Dahl, who's on a yellow card, wants to be a bit careful. Canberra Croatia being knocked off their stride a bit here by O'Connor Knights, who are enjoying the start to this game. Junna will take on Riley Souza. 25 minutes gone of the contest, and O'Connor Knights are rattling the cages of the league leaders. Daniel Colbertaldo. Foul by Harry Martin.
There's an undertone coming now, Russ. It's real starting to get a bit fiery now. A little bit niggly.
Well, there's plenty of players on both sides who won't take a backward step. Tony Spaseski might be one of them.
Driscoll's getting stuck in a James there.
Thomas James has left him for dead, though, with a little turn. And he's looking for the run outside of Green. Nick Dahl sent it away. That's a battle to keep an eye on, isn't it? The James Driscoll one. Not James Driscoll, but James Andrews, you know what I mean? Unfortunate. Colbertaldo slides it through, angled run by Yardrich. Gets there first. Is that a penalty? It is. Christian Nell adjudged to have brought down Marko Yardrich. And Canberra Croatia have a spot kick.
Great little ball there from Daniel Colbertaldo, but Yardrich is running away from goals. I don't know why Nell would even stick an arm out there, because even his first touch is going straight over the byline.
We've seen 2 penalties today already.
We
Stephen
have.
Dominici did not score. Nikos Kalfas did not score in the 2-2 draw at AIS. Thomas James is tasked with the responsibility for Canberra Croatia in the derby. On his 120th National Premier League game, he has 86 goals to his credit. In all comps, he has 7 to his name already this season and 9 assists. A lifeline, perhaps, for the league leaders midway, or just past the midway point of the first half. Thomas James, in these situations, usually unflappable. Christian Nell conceded the penalty. Can he now dig his side out of that hole? James from 12 yards against Nell, hammers it home, and Canberra Croatia are all square on Derby Day, and it took them just the best part of 27 minutes to do so.
Yeah, you don't save those, do you, Ross? He smashed that into the corner of the net. A little bit of afters again towards James Driscoll. Just really interesting to see how this next 17-odd minutes, 18-odd minutes go to half-time, because I think there's a fair bit going on.
Canberra Croatia on terms. Goal number 29 in the league this season. A quirk of the footballing fates means that of those 29 league goals, 27 of them, or 43 goals in all comps, 28 of them at this venue. They've been amongst the goals nearly every week here. And that's a hard one for O'Connor Knights to take. They've been playing really well. And as you said, not much need for Nell to come and make that challenge.
No, I don't. He was running away, like I said, he was running away from goal, and even if he got that touch, which he did, I think, well played Yadrich. I think he...
he saw it come.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Absolutely knew what he was doing.
Smart, but...
And there was contact, no complaint at all from the Knights. Spaseski. Colbertaldo. Harry Martin in tight. Ryan Keir back for Subasic, but Canberra Croatia do not need a helping hand.
Yeah, again, you can see it's not really a press there from O'Connor Knights. It's making sure that they're congesting midfield and winning the ball in those sort of areas. So, good tactic. It seems to be working.
Buddy Abbas. Nell's not had a shot to save prior to that penalty. Couple of efforts to win wide, so that was about it.
The Pratazina one and even the Thomas James one were probably 2 opportunities before that, but both went wide.
It's Pratazina. And James comes off Abbas. Spins away, Driscoll. Thomas James read exactly where James Driscoll was going to put that.
Yeah, when you see Thomas James in this sort of mood, I don't think the scoring's finished yet for him.
It's been in rare form. League game number 8 of the season, Frank. And Thomas James, 6 goals and 9 assists. 15 goal involvements, as the youngsters like to say these days, in 8 league matches. That's phenomenal, isn't it? It's almost 2 a game. And maths isn't my strong point, and you know that.
Still trying to work out what is, mate. But,
I mean, you know, it's many years of trying to find that out.
Good touch.
John thought about hitting it, didn't fancy it on the left.
Cerruti just had to run off him. He was away.
Yadric is springing something in the other direction with Pratazina. James.
Great ball.
Oh, the angle ball behind for Yadric, who made the run. And it's going to come for Pratazina. And the block was vital. Otherwise, it would have been 2-1 because Nell was going the wrong way.
Yeah, Connor Beale had that. Did a great job too. But the ball from Thomas James into Yadric.
Well, Nell was wrong-footed, wasn't he? It was heading for that bottom corner. It was a vital interception by Bill. And here's James now defending.
Yeah, that's when you know he's on song, because if he starts working in these sort of areas, and even when he cut out that ball earlier from the clearance, he's working like that. And here's the other thing that he does, is now that he's back here, he's going to be even harder to pick up when he starts drifting forward.
It's allowed Riley Souza to get involved up top. Cole Bataldo, Pratazina again. Yadric lets it run. Martin away. Back to the left back, Thomas James. Plenty of time to pick his pass. Yadric. Pratazina. James. Looks like he's really enjoying his football this year, Frank. That's a good ball too for Max Green. It's going to bounce for James. And he's found Green, whose touch lets him down.
Just needed to hit it.
Ryan Keir slides it through. Pressure mounting on O'Connor Knights at the moment. They can't get out. Max Green. Pratazina. James. And Pratazina, and they almost went through again, but O'Connor Knights will be grateful just to get hold of the ball. Since the equaliser, they've been on the back foot.
Yeah, and that's where it becomes hard if you're allowing Deakin or Canberra Croatia to have the ball in their back four and start getting further and further forward before you engage. Then you're starting to invite them in, and you're getting deeper and deeper as defenders. If you start defending on the edge of your box, it makes it difficult.
Towering header by Subasic. Colbertado goes down. Driscoll can find Cerruti. He's got away from Spaseski. Ahmed Shaibu. Manny Gudabisha went through him to get the ball. Is the referee's call. And Gudabisha is going to get himself a yellow card for his trouble.
I think the yellow card might be a bit...
I think the yellow card was possibly for dissent. He might have said something after the free kick was awarded. I stand to be corrected, of course, as always. He may well have got the ball, but I think he had to go through a fair bit of Lukman Ahmed Shaibu to get there first.
This is a pretty good distance for this sort of free kick as well, because it gives you the chance of getting it up and over the wall and getting it down in time to get under the crossbar as well.
Michael John's asking the physio to come on and treat Lukman Ahmed Shaibu. Lukman Ahmed Shaibu's gone, no, I've got this free kick, I'm all right, mate.
Yeah, and if he does, yeah, because he'll have to stay off, won't he?
You know he can stay on because it was a yellow card.
Yellow card,
so.
yeah.
I think he was saying, I'm okay, I've got this. it is within the range he would like.
If they ever get the ball back to...
Well, no one's in a rush to get it, are they?
No.
It's right there. Lukman Ahmed Shaibu's pointed to it, Bruno Kell's pointed to it, and it's the youngest player on the park. He's playing ball boy. Daniel Gallitz, you go fetch it, mate. That's a seniority thing there, isn't it? Hierarchy.
I don't know what you call it, Ross, but...
Well, Ahmed Shaibu, he's taken probably another half a metre.
Yeah, he has. But
obviously, Bruno Kell didn't use the shaving cream. Ahmed Shaibu has been told to take it back from where it came from.
And let's be honest, the first couple of shots at Mateza's face, he's parried them, so they'll be chasing him.
Well, he held the one from John, didn't he, when it skipped off the service, but Ahmed Shaibu might fancy this. He started the game sharply. Sends it over the wall, but zero problem for Matejka.
I don't understand that sort of... You've got to hit that with power.
It's a lazy swing of the boot.
From there, you've got to have some power. Well, even if that's on target, it's not going to trouble a goalkeeper of any sort of quality, is it?
Well, you wouldn't think so. Connor Bill. Harry Martin. Picked off by Pradagina. Can't squeeze it through for Green because Connor Bill was there. Abbas, first time for Ahmed Shaibu, who's got himself caught into trouble. Off goes Spaseski. And Driscoll brings him down and will probably be the third player to see yellow.
Yeah, and that makes it real interesting for the left fullback for O'Connor Knights, because you'll have Thomas James, you'll have Max Green, maybe even people like Pradazina getting over that side, and Spaseski running at you now with a yellow card.
Well, with 10 minutes to half-time, 3 yellow cards for the Knights already, 1 for Canberra Croatia. We saw Luca Flores sent off last night. The way this one's going, the amount of cards that have been dished out, you wouldn't be surprised, would you, if someone follows. Now Thomas James's turn to take a free kick.
Will he cross or take a strike?
Well, the angle he's set up...
He's set up for a cross, but he's got this in his locker.
He can whip it. We'll see what he does. He does send it into the middle. It's going to come out here for Yardrich. Thought about the first-time strike, then does have a go. And it came off of Buddy Abbas's studs. Just quietly, how good was Robbo's hit yesterday? Thomas Robertson for Gungali out off the corner. Have you seen it yet?
No.
Ball comes over and first-time half volley. Back through the crowd. Yeah, bottom corner. You should watch
Good on
it.
you,
It's a great
right?
finish.
I'd give him a shout out, but I know that West Tigers are playing at the moment. He's a Tigers fan like me, so he's probably watching them, unless they're going like they normally do. He might have switched back over. So if you're watching this, Robbo, well done, mate.
I'm a Redcliffe Dolphin right now.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't know until they play. Until they lose, then I get another team. Been twice with them this year. James to the near post. I'm playing this picked a team, and whoever they lose is my next team, and at the end of the year I'll get a team. See how we go. In the Dolphins twice, and not Miami. How did Carlton go? Did you get a win?
We got a bye, which is
excellent.
is
Is that worth?
excellent.
That's actually worth
Mate,
points in the AFL, though, isn't it?
No, I don't think it is, but I'll take not losing.
Thomas James with the corner kick. Whips it to that near post. Really good one, and met by Ryan Keir. And they've turned it round. From 1 down, Croatia are 2-1 up, and Derby Day delight for Ryan Keir.
Yeah, way too easy, isn't it? And that's a massive turnaround in the course of this game. Yeah, I kind of, at 1-0, we're looking pretty solid at the time, but then a penalty and a corner to get 2-1 down. Fantastic run, though, from Ryan Keir, and great delivery as well.
A first goal of the season in the league for Ryan Keir, a 10th assist of the season for Thomas James. And Canberra Croatia continuing where they left off. And it's O'Connor Knight's turn to look a bit dejected. And after all the pretty football, and after all the nice 1-2s and quick slick counter-attacks and passes around the field, it's a near post header off a corner that does the damage. Chiruti, John, Ahmed Shaibu, almost an instant response.
Should have been really well worked play there from O'Connor Knights down this right-hand side. And Michael John, he's actually having a very, very good game here. Set it up for Lukman Shaibu and put it just wide of the post. Keeper had no chance.
That will please the Knights management. The way they've the way they've got themselves straight back on the front foot again. As you said, the front three enjoying themselves. Jenna Charuti, Michael John, Lukman Ahmed Shaibu. Knights aren't playing badly here. Max Green. That's a bit wayward.
I'll tell you what, this next 6 minutes is massive for the Knights. They can't afford to. I know it's stating the obvious, but they just cannot afford to concede again. And the way Canberra Croatia got their tail between their legs now, got their tails up, I should say, they're every chance of extending on this league too.
Colbadado, well, we've seen them this year, they rarely sit back. Connor Bill away. Sousa got there. Charuti. Behind John. Subasic steps in. James with the switcher play. It's only going to find Buddy Abbas though. His touch is a bit heavy. Second one was better. Now here goes Junner. John. Junner again. Allowed to cut in field a long way. Pass was telegraphed though, and Gudabisha can bring it clear. Perugina, look at the space out wide there.
Driscoll on a yellow as well.
James running at him. Green's gone early. He's offside. Not a great run by Max Green.
No, and he didn't need to. He was in a great spot just to wait for that ball, wait for that pass, and then go.
If you just tuned in, Tigers Panthers Battle of the Big Cats ended 2-2 this afternoon.
Don't know what your phone's like, Russ, but mine's blowing up at the moment. Some very interesting comments from the audience. It's great to hear.
The people know I'm working, mate. Usually it's my child or my wife that rings me on these occasions. And I'm like, well, you know Daddy's not here. He's at work. I told my daughter to tune in today, and I would drop the name of a couple of Pokemons in, and if she can tell me who they are, then she'll get a prize.
I can't.
Yeah, but she's not going to tune in anyway, so I can say Squirtle. So there's one of them. I'll think of another one later.
Pikachu?
Well, that's it. I mean, you could use Pikachu. I mean, I've got plenty. Charmander. Jigglypuff. I mean, there's three. That's what they used to call you when you were playing, weren't they? Jigglypuff.
Did they call you Squirtle? If you've just tuned in, yes, it's Canberra Croatia versus O'Connor Knights at Deakin Stadium.
National Premier League.
Very serious situation.
Derby day. You love the Pokemons. 2-1 to Croatia. Riley Sousa. Gudabisha. Colbataldo.
Great turn, great feet there from Danny.
Yeah, wins a free kick. Which was New Cafe in the week. I don't know if you saw that on the post there.
Yeah, mate, we saw it.
Casa by Avanti. It was nice.
Good ball.
Oh, that's a lovely ball over the top for Thomas James to get in. Can't quite keep it in. But he's done a lot of work there, him and his family, to build that up.
Yeah, good boy, Danny, and obviously he's worked really hard. You know, I know that he sort of started that little cafe from pretty much like a caravan almost, and built it into what it is now. And you know, basically messaged him during this morning just to see if they're open on the weekends. It's too hard for me to get out there during the week, but any chance I get, I'll get myself out.
Must be a very proud moment for him opening up those premises.
Yeah.
Haven't had the chance to go to Danny Roberts' yet, Red Baron in Simonston, but it's on my list.
Yeah, I've got a message from Daniel as well last week. So
yeah, you got the invite as well, because I was like in my pocket, and it was like,
oh, a chance here.
Max Green might get in behind. He has got in behind. Can he finish? He's taking it a bit wide, and he's teed up Pranagina, who says thank you very much. And Nick Pranagina extends Canberra Croatia's lead. And on the cusp of half-time, the hosts are 3-1 to the good.
And that's exactly what we were saying literally 4 minutes ago, Russ, that 6 minutes to go before half-time, you know, there was every chance that Canberra Croatia were going to extend their lead. And if they did, it's, Yeah, you can look at the body language of the O'Connor Knights players at the moment. Heads are down. Nick Dale, you know, they're trying to get themselves back up and lift themselves, but this is a big mountain to climb now.
3 goals in 16 minutes for Canberra Croatia. As I mentioned earlier in the commentary, you think you got them, and bang, 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 they're almost out of sight. Max Green sent it. Nick Pradajina just taps it into the net. Finished it well. That's his 7th goal of the season from Pradajina. He's having a season to remember as well. The front 3 are just relentless.
And just got a message here from Lockie Campbell as well, Russ. It's Nick Pradajina's 20th birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Nick Pradajina. Got himself a goal as well to celebrate. Knights seeking a way back in. Daniel Galich forcing his way through. And the break might be on again, but Driscoll was back. Often they pick the right pass as well, Frank. Max Green could have tried to steer that into the open goal himself, but waited for the support and made certain. Ryan Keir, Cole Bataldo, free kicking again. Lots of niggly free kicks coming into it. And O'Connor Knights, well, where to from here? Half-time is coming up.
Very nice message here from Kat Perrich as well. She's trying to line us up a couple of cups of tea for half-time.
Oh, that's nice of Kat Perrich. I'll give her a good shout-out tomorrow when she scores.
Mate, I'll make her captain.
3-1 to Canberra Croatia. O'Connor Knights now have conceded 20 goals this season. Unbelievably, Frank, in the 2 games they've actually won this year, they've scored 11 goals and conceded just once. O'Connor Knights. They gave Ugali a bit of a touch-up by 5-1, and they hammered Queanbeyan City 6-0.
Yeah, look, half-time was the key for O'Connor Knights. If they could have come in at 1-0 up or even 1-1, it would have been a massive tick in the box for what they've achieved in that first half.
Do you remember when it was 1-0 and I said the blueprint to beat in Canberra Croatia was Queanbeyan City?
And what did I tell you? Hold that thought.
For 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And we did. And now Queanbeyan City are starting from scratch again. Harry Martin. Driscoll delivers into the middle. Chiruti was a target, taken by Mateja.
And again, the chance that Brooklyn missed at 2-1, bring it back to 2 all, the game changes again.
Once more, though, and correct me if I'm wrong, and your memory might be better than mine, Canberra Croatia have had about 3 shots on target and scored 3 times. They've been absolutely ruthless this year. And when they break in numbers, and they break quickly and sharply from all over the park. Riley Souza, Daniel Colbataldo.
But yeah, I mean, if you watch this game back...
James has just left Driscoll for dead. Driscoll had a thought about pulling him back, didn't he? Harry Martin's gone across
the last thing they'd want is go down to 10. But yeah, I mean, even the free kick that Lookman's had, he's just tried to curl it. Whip that, see if he can get some scraps.
Kia finds Souza. Max Green on the turn. Force a save, routine one. It's 1 or 2 Knights players now looking rather forlorn.
Tell you what, that's that biggest TV in Canberra's just been turned on over here. It's been a while.
Caught your eye.
It's been a while.
Here goes James in behind again, and he's got goal side again, and he's bearing down on goal, and he makes it 4. They're having a party. Thomas James. Subasic's ball from the back was brilliant, and Thomas James was not going to pass it up. And Canberra Croatia are romping this derby now.
Yeah, and Russ, it's down that O'Connor Knights left-hand side again. Driscoll's been isolated 1v1. He probably needs some support from a winger there, but great ball, Daniel Subasic, and once Thomas James is in that sort of space, I was surprised in the first one that he missed, but that's what you expect from a quality striker like himself. And I think it's half-time 4-1, and what a turnaround.
The last kick of the half brings the fourth goal, and Frank Keisha, this could get messy for the Knights in the second half.
It already is, Russ. 4-1. I think this is, if there wasn't a mountain climb before, there certainly is now.
And it's actually a perfect scenario for Canberra Croatia and their coaching staff. Cup final coming up in 7 days' time. 4-1 up at half-time. Some of the big hitters can have a rest.
Oh, well, Matty Gerbis is on a yellow. Why wouldn't you just rest him now?
And Thomas James himself on a couple of goals might be not merging for the second half, but they've had it all to do at half-time here at O'Connor Knights. They led early on, and it was a goal of good quality from Jenna Tarutis in the end. He managed to force it over the line. But O'Connor Knights have then been hit shell-shocked by Canberra Croatia's response. An equalising penalty from Thomas James, and from then on in, it's been the juggernaut in full effect again. Ryan Keir made it 2-1, Nick Pradagina made it 3, and 3 minutes into stoppage time, Thomas James has made it 4. Canberra Croatia relentless and marching on again. At half-time in the Javapi Derby, the Croatian party is all red. It's Canberra Croatia 4, O'Connor Knights 1. Ready when you are, mate.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, after tonight's
Welcome back to Deakin Stadium. We're at half-time. Canberra Croatia are rampant. It's Croatia 4, Knights 1 in the derby. Well, they have been in red-hot form since falling behind. Frank Keisha is with myself, Russ Gibbs, at the start of the second stanza. Interesting to see whether there's going to be any changes at half-time. Frank, what do the Knights do from here? I mean, for the most part of the first half, for about 25 minutes, they were very much in the contest. And now they find themselves staring down the barrel.
This is an experience now for them. Maybe some of the young guys get a chance to test themselves against the best team in the comp, Russ. You know, you maybe make a couple of changes. Stick someone on the left-hand side and say, test yourself against Thomas James.
I think at the moment they've just gone with the routine of, well, let's see what this 11 can do to get themselves back into this contest.
And we do have cups of tea, courtesy Kat Perry.
Oh, she did. I think there was Vlada was going to get us a cup of tea, but thank you, Kat.
Yeah, she actually went all the way to the club to get one.
Did she?
Us. Yes.
Oh, that's too nice. She's definitely going to get a shout out tomorrow. Aaron doesn't get his now, though.
Sorry.
Waiting for the start of the second half, then.
I did tell Bruno to give me 3 minutes to get across the pitch, Russ.
Well, he has, which is nice of him. Where to here from Knights, then? Where to for Croatia? Cruising towards another 3 points in a welter of goals again. Playing with a rare confidence.
Actually had a couple of the supporters down here, Russ, asking to stick their hand up to come and commentate.
Oh, fair enough, we can have none.
Yeah, beautiful.
Off we go then. We'll start the second half. Matt Gerbish's ball forward. Thomas James's little flick. Marko Jadric straight onto it. And Michael John having to go back and defend from Tony Spaseski. Here's Matt Gerbisher.
Tony Spaseski, give us away.
James finds Jadric. James again. Look at the space here. Riley Souza going forward. Pradashina to swing it into the middle. Colbertaldo was there, so was Green. And I think Colbertaldo's leap may have put Max Green off.
Very good delivery too, Russ, but good build-up again from Canberra Croatia. And they've started the second half the way they finished that first.
Won by Spaseski. Hoiked forward by Gerbisher. Connor Bill lost it and then managed to get rid of it, only as far as James Driscoll. Here is Connor Bill again. Galich. Dahl, who it's run under his foot, and that's presented James with an opportunity. The runners flooding forward off Thomas James. Well, that's a delicious looking ball, but Abbas got it away. Colbertaldo. Pradashina. Little 1-2, and the hit from Pradashina was a good one as well. Fairly fizzed through it, Nell.
Yeah, good technique. It wasn't the best layoff there from Maxi Green, but geez, Pradashina made it into a very good ball, the way he finished that.
You can see some teams have cues for pressing, right? Canberra Croatia's cue to get forward seems to be get Thomas James on the ball and turn, and they flood off him, knowing that he'll normally pick the right pass. Giving that away, though. Driscoll. John almost found Harry Martin. One more out wide is Junna. Exchange of passes, and Martin, well, it's over the bar.
Yep.
But a positive start to the second half.
Yeah, they actually, when they got forward there, James Driscoll probably just had to be a little bit quicker with the exchange. But then after that, the combination worked pretty well, and Harry Martin, a good strike. Just needed to get that on target to ask a few questions of Matasia. Almost surprised that Canberra Croatia didn't make any changes, Russ.
So am I.
With the cup in mind.
Maybe it'll be an hour in. That's generally what they do in these situations, isn't it? They are in the comfort zone at the moment. James helps it on. Connor Bill under pressure from Max Green. Did well, the centre-back. Wins his team a throw.
You just wonder how much of a loss Lockie Fields is to this O'Connor Knights backline, Russ, as well as young Palic, who was one of the mainstays in the last few years.
I think he'd be a loss to a lot of teams, Lockie Fields, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it took him a bit of time to get himself back on the park at Sutherland this year, Russ. He suffered an injury, but I think he's back in those last couple of weeks.
Sousa away. Harry Martin. Ryan Keir just helps it on to Colbertaldo. Spaseski. One or two players slipping now.
Yeah,
it gets a
few
greasy.
Boys on yellow cards. Just want to be a bit mindful of that.
James forward. Green will chase and get away from Abbas. Max Green and Pradžina, and it's another. 5 alive for Canberra Croatia. 5 minutes into the second half, and they're off and at it again. And Pradžina has 2 himself.
Gee, I tell you what, if it is his birthday, I think Max Green's given him a couple of absolute gifts tonight. Two just tap-ins from the hard work from Max Green. It's just let Pradžina get his name on the scoreboard twice. But having said that, Pradžina's the right place, right time, and he's really benefited from the hard work from Max Green.
An 8th of the season for Nick Pradžina and Canberra Croatia.
And this could get messy, Russ.
Well, they do not know when to stop. Goal after goal after goal this season. 4 against ANU in the Cup, 4 against O'Connor in the league, 6 against Ugali, 5 against Queanbeyan, 4 against the Panthers in the Cup, 4 against the Gunners, 3 against the Panthers in the league, 6 against Tuggeranong, then 5 against Tuggeranong, then another 5 tonight. And amongst all of that, of course, don't forget they lost to Tigers. They are vulnerable, just not very often.
Where are you going to end this sentence?
Here goes Yardrich. In towards Max Green, lets it run, almost came for Colbertaldo. "47 goals in the season so far, in all competitions, and no sign of a let-up.
And I don't say this lightly, and I say this with full respect to Queanbeyan City, but if Canberra Croatia are the team that represents our region in the final 32, I think that's something that we can all be very, very much looking forward to, because of the way that they're playing. They'll fancy themselves, especially if they get a home game, regardless of what the opposition is.
James. Ahmed Shaibu comes back. Be following in a good tradition, wouldn't they? O'Connor Knights did us incredibly proud last year. They led MacArthur, who went on to win the whole thing at GIO. Wonderful night for them. This one less so. Connor Bill steps in. Nick Dahl.
Yeah, he's not having his best night, is he?
And look at this, 4 against 3 at the moment. James finds Yardrich. One more for Pradžina. He's on a hat-trick. Nick Pradžina, it's saved as far as Max Green, and it's half a dozen. They do not know when to stop. They will never stop. Relentless, remorseful, clinical. Croatia have 6.
And you could just see, I mean, in the background, you might have caught the reaction of Nick Dahl. Gave the ball away unluckily. I mean, for him, just mistimed his touch, and that's just broken. And 4v3 became a 3v2, and just a tap in for Max Green.
Technically, that's an assist for Pradžina as well, so that's one of the ones he's given back to Max Green. We've had 53 minutes, and Canberra Croatia are in dreamland.
And I tell you now, it's going to be a very long 38 odd minutes to go for the O'Connor Knights.
They're playing for pride now. They are copping a walloping on Derby Day. James wins a header. Keir back for Matasia.
And I guess the one thing that we've said is we're surprised that there hasn't been any substitutions for Canberra Croatia. 6-1's down. probably surprised that there's been no real substitutions for O'Connor Knights either, Russ.
Well, no, I'm completely surprised at the moment that they haven't, both sides. I'm sure it won't be long. Next week, very much in mind. If you're Queen Bean City right now and you're watching this, Frank, are you concerned?
I'd be getting ready for my trip to Ugali tomorrow, Ross, and switching YouTube off and just worrying about getting to bed early.
Good ball forward. I mean, I know football doesn't work this way, but Queen Bean City lost 6-0 to this O'Connor Knights team, Frank. Canberra Croatia very much enjoying themselves. No, Dina Greenwich, no problem. Subasic, look at the space for Thomas James, revelling in it at the moment. And he wants to go. Well, if you're Canberra Croatia now, is it just a question of just making sure it's not too messy in terms of, you know, you don't start, everyone starts shooting from everywhere, etc., etc.
Looks like Ryan Keir's coming off.
Yeah, Keegan Vucetic.
Yeah.
Changes for the Knights as well.
Dahl and Galich, by the looks of things. Nah, look, I like for Canberra Croatia, I don't think it's about getting messy. I think it's about just preserving players for the Cup final next week and making sure that they've got every opportunity to play their best 11 and have their best 16. I'll tell you what, there's some competition for spots. Even if you look at that bench, you got the likes of Sparrow, Brown, Perrite, Cullen still to come back in. Probably missed a couple of others, but gee, there's some competition for spots there.
Keegan Vucetic replaces Ryan Keir. Brace of changes for the Knights as well. Vinny Sanchez on for Nick Dahl. Kobe Yari for Daniel Galich. Two changes. You asked for changes, and you got some. What are you asking for next? I can hear you unwrapping that in my ears. Sorry. What do you got?
It's a protein bar thing.
Yeah, just keeping you ticking on.
Well, I was going to eat it at half time, but I was too busy trying to get our teas.
Cole Bataldo forward. Oh, Christian Nell came. He needed to win it and did. It's just the effects mind picks up everything.
It does.
No secrets around here. Thomas James. And it just shows the character and the commitment of this Canberra Croatia side. Frank, 4-1 up at half-time. You're wondering how they approach the second half. Well, the answer is scored twice in the first 8 minutes. Sorry, you got a mouthful of protein bar.
They're relentless, Russ. They really are, and they're a good watch.
Cobataldo. Vucetic, what a pass. And Green's in behind again here. Connor Bill did well. Only half cleared for a moment. And here goes Spaseski around the outside. Jadric couldn't collect it. Pradajina can. And fires over the top of the crossbar.
But even now, you can just see they're just getting forward at will. Everyone's on song. Everyone's on the same page. They just even with the likes of Monero and Tigers so far that I've seen this year, they just look a cut above Canberra Croatia.
It's hard to fathom that about 10, 12 weeks ago in pre-season, we were looking at Canberra Croatia with all the players that had left. Several of them going to Monero Panthers. You're wondering, who have they brought in? A couple of the Ardrich boys. Many Gerbish back. And you're wondering, what can they do this season? Will it be one of consolidation? Certainly been anything but. They have hit the ground running and continue to accelerate.
No, they just look better than ever.
This 200 below us for Brittany Palombi might be in the amount of goals they end up scoring this season if they carry on at this rate. 11 matches this season, 48 goals. I mean, it's not quite Belconnen in the NPLW. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Hopefully you've got something to say about that tomorrow as well.
Vucetic. James looks to help it on. Was looking for Yardrich around the outside. Couldn't find him. They'll let him off. Well, I get the feeling that Cecilia is going to come on in a minute, and so is Nick Subasic.
You're getting tipped off with substitutions as well, Russ.
Yeah, Riley Souza and Tony Spaseski likely to come off. No, I'm just clever. I just can read the game. Yeah.
I'm still surprised Matty Goodrich is staying on.
He needs the minutes, doesn't he? As a young player that's in the formative stage of his career.
Experience. You'll probably get upset that I've said something about that.
I got told off last week by calling him an old warhorse. You weren't here, but I called him a veteran warhorse or something like that. Yep. And apparently his wife kept rewinding it because she thought it was funny. and he did speak to me about it. And I said, look, at the end of the day, Matt, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said about you in commentary.
They're away again.
James. And Green's in behind. And his first touch is going to set him up. It's Max Green for 7. And it is a magnificent 7 on Derby Day. They're eviscerating the Knights, ripping them asunder. James assist again. Green goal again. Where will this end?
It's scary to think where this could go. I mean, we've got plenty of time to go, Russ, and
it's an hour played.
Half an hour to go. I hate to say this, but will they reach double figures? Because the way they're travelling at the minute, the only thing stopping them is probably themselves.
Once Max Green got in behind, there was very little was going to happen except a goal. Riley Souza and Tony Spaseski, as predicted. Thanks, Joe Skazlik, for the heads up. They're taking off the two fullbacks, Frank, and they're bringing on Nicky Subasic, 68 NPL games of experience, David Cecilia, 63 games of NPL experience, in a game that they're 7-1 up in. And whilst we're waxing lyrical about the quality of those in red, what has happened to those in black? The fall from grace almost complete. How can O'Connor Knights pick themselves up from this? Not just tonight, Frank, but also for the rest of the campaign. For this isn't just a beating, this isn't just a battering, this is a humiliation on a grand scale.
Oh, look, this is when you start questioning the character and pride of a handful, I guess, Russ, and that's unfortunate because we know what this club's about.
And what we know from Canberra Croatia is there will be no let-up.
No. Well, there's competition for spots and there's bigger prizes for Canberra Croatia than just a derby win. These players will keep going and they'll put their foot on the pedal here. They're not going to show any remorse. Just a bit of a shout out to Russ. Julian Russell-Jones, who the mainstay physio for Canberra Croatia, his son's having his first heavyweight boxing bout tonight, actually at the O'Connor Club.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, so thoughts with Jules and his son there, and I hope everything goes well and gets out safe and sound.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Let's hope he knocks the other bloke out.
Yeah.
James in behind again. And advancing on goal again. And teeing up another. Max Green has 3. Canberra Croatia have 8. And for O'Connor Knights, it gets worse and worse. James, a hat-trick of assists. And Max Green scores again. And this is getting utterly, utterly embarrassing.
Yeah, this is hot knife through butter stuff, isn't it, Russ? It's they're scoring at will. And, we've only just finished saying that, that there was half an hour to go. Can this get to double figures? Looks more likely than not.
Max Green takes his season tally to 11 in all competitions. Thomas James has that in assists.
Interesting move here. Christian John has actually called James Driscoll over to the other side. There's been a lot of attacks down this left-hand side of O'Connor Knights. Driscoll's on a yellow. good leadership there from Christian to call that.
Is it putting the finger in the dike, though? Is it far, far too late? Well, your phone was blowing up in the first half. Mine is as well now. Got a message from Queanbeyan and City from their boss saying exactly what they needed from Deakin to build up their confidence ahead of the final. Sure, that was a little bit tongue-in-cheek.
That's working beautifully.
Absolutely. Driscoll to bring it forward. Cerruti, John. Well, when we came here this afternoon, and myself it was this morning, no, it wasn't, it was this afternoon, I thought that Canberra Croatia will win the match, to be honest, because of the way they were playing, and everybody would have thought that as well. I didn't think it would be by this many. I don't think many would have thought 8-1 with 27 minutes or so to play. And you, as you mentioned, double digits seems more likely than not right now.
And even if you look at the two starting lineups, Russ, you know, I think once you get to beyond 6, even if you get to 6, I think it becomes an attitude problem rather than an ability problem.
Well, just look at the bench, slumped. The faces. I mean, it's just one of those nights. They want to go home. They want to get out of here. Thomas James is offside, and you can't blame them. Some of the Knights fans are getting out of here. Behind the goal to our right, they're trooping towards the exit already, Frank. And quite frankly, if you're of a Knights persuasion, you cannot blame them. For Canberra Croatia, the party started a long time ago. And to think they were 1-0 down in this match.
And to think you thought this was a blueprint.
Well, the first 10 minutes was. You just need to replicate that 9 times and you'll be fine. Just on a note, 50 goals for the season as well now for the men in red. Gurbiša, Vucetic. I asked you if it was a blueprint, and you said no. You were quite right. Subasic. Nicky Subasic, that is, down the right flank. Max Green. Helped himself to a hat-trick in the league, Max Green. The first player to do so in red colours since Daniel Barac at this venue in round 20 last year.
And he's given off 2 absolute sitters, just tap-ins for Pratazina as well, Russ. He could have had 5 or 6.
Harry Martin fouls Thomas James. Well, he's had 3 goals and 2 assists. Thomas James, 3 assists and 2 goals.
Yeah, Thomas James has just copped a bit of a sore one there. I should be fine, but that's a worry now for Canberra Croatia. Just make sure that they're preserving players.
They've got Daniel Sparic not here tonight, suspended. He scored plenty this season as well. But Max Green, as I said, 11 in all competitions. Thomas James has 9 in all competitions. Nick Pratazina has 8 in all competitions. Outside of that, there's not been many goals. Marko Jadric has got 1, 2 in both comps. Riley Souza 3, Ryan Keir with 2. That's it.
Got Michael John coming off Russ by the looks of things.
Probably happy to do so as well. Michael John. He's worked hard. Nikola Perinovic is on. Probably not the moments he wanted to come in. Flicked on by Ahmed Shaibu. Free kick goes Knights' way. Nikola Perinovic sent me a message in the week, wants to be called by his full name, and I'm like, that's fine.
He's a good lad. Him and Cecilia, a couple of boys that come and have a bit of a run with me on a Sunday morning in summer.
And he can score goals.
Good family, yeah, really, really nice family. But yeah, he'll definitely be sticking his hand up for a start the next couple of weeks, I imagine. I mean,
quick arm around the shoulder over there. Go out there and get us 7, mate.
Yeah.
Off
well, you'd ask for 8, wouldn't you? You want to lead.
I'd settle for a point right now if you were O'Connor Knights, wouldn't you? The coach is going, now we'll take
no ambition about you, Russ.
Well, they can at least get themselves one back. Still got 22 minutes to play. We're only halfway in the half.
Chirudi's lining up this as a strike. He probably could have had a pop before.
3 in the wall. Chirudi does have a go. It moved on Mateja.
And that's about the third time that he's basically parried the ball down. They've got to be firing those in. They scored the first goal from that.
They might need him next week, depending on the severity of the injury to Sam Brown. I don't think it's too bad. And precautionary measures. Look at the pace from Cecilia to get away. Second bite of the cherry to find Pradeshina. Goes to Green.
Wow.
I think Pradeshina moved away from where he was. Midway through the second half. If you just tuned in, that scoreline in the top isn't a typo. Canberra Croatia 8. O'Connor Knights 1. We've got some Maltese coming.
You say Maltese or
Maltese? Maltese, my friend.
So apparently, I just got a message that Nick Forst's goal should have best been allocated to Anthony Timotheo. He reckons he scored directly from a corner.
Well, it's gone down as Nick Forst. On the record books, I've seen it.
I've got you, Donny. I think you scored for sure.
Well, there's no visual proof. Unlucky.
There's a text that says it.
Vucetic. There's also a text from Forst said it was his. Subasic towards the far post. We're going to get a couple of changes here. The Rakics are coming on. Andrej Rakic and Anthony Rakic are both coming on. And there's going to be a bit of a break for Max Green and for Daniel Colbertaldo, I'm told. So the bench will be emptied. Max Green is not going to add to his 3 goals and a couple of assists.
So you got to tell me, Russ, who's got the sugar tea?
Aaron, the unhealthy one. Morty, we're going to have to put this down on the ground while we get through this one. Don't kick it, Frank. Right in front of you. So a first start of the season, or first match of the season for Andrej Rakic. Anthony Rakic's first game in first grade as well. Where are they going? Andrej Rakic has gone up top. Anthony Rakic in midfield. Glad they got numbers on. Apparently they're twins. They look very similar, as twins tend to do.
And they've come through the grades here at Canberra, Croatia. So Johnny Rakic's boys, aren't they?
I believe so. What an introduction to come on. First game of the season for Andrej Rakic. Debut for Anthony, who they know as AJ. 8-1 up in the derby. Go and have some fun, lads.
Yeah. And be a proud moment for John. Really good person, John. I had a bit to do with him back in the day when he was at Juventus, Russ. Lovely person. Good family as well. And congratulations to the young guys making their debut.
Let's see how they settle in to this outfit. Apparently there's a young lad that plays on the fringes of the 23 at the moment. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. 15 years of age, Frank, who they believe is going to make a big impression at this football club. Already at 15, knocking on the door of the 23s.
That's brilliant.
And I can't remember the name. I should have written it down when they told me earlier, but I apologise. But no doubt we will be hearing about him in the future. But it's good to see some of these young boys coming through. And a chance for them to show what they can do. Andrej Rakic can look to his left and see Thomas James, look to his right to see Nick Pradeshina. Subasic. Daniel looking for Nicholas. Christian Juna. There'll be a few players out there in black shirts that have never been on the end of a flogging like this before. Anthony Rakic. Matt Gerbischer.
And you can just hear Matty Gerbischer still getting vocal from the back line, Russ, telling players to keep the pressure up. He's the leader of this side, whether or not he's wearing a captain's armband or not. He will drive this side to get the absolute most out of them.
Vucetic, Nicholas Subasic, James, little back heel, looking for Andrej Rakic. James, great feet. Vucetic, anywhere will do for Connor Bill. Still 17 minutes to go. And absolute goal fest. Well, Goran, I know you're watching. Jozefowski, head coach of Queanbeyan City. We'll have a chat in a week and you can tell me how you're going to stop this. Whatever happens, it will be an incredible occasion next week for the Cup final for Queanbeyan City. They will bring numbers, no doubt about that, in terms of supports.
I will tell you, my phone's blowing up. I've got Donny saying there's video evidence, and then I've got Nick Force saying, no, don't believe Donny.
I told you, I mean...
Oh, look.
The referee's put it down as forced. I've already seen it. And I've already updated the table as well, so unless there is compelling evidence like VAR...
Oh, look, and the compelling... Nick Force has never lied to me. We've enjoyed a lot of success, so I'm almost leaning his way. Unlucky.
Look, he's a regular goal scorer as well, Nick Force, doesn't he? Look, Timotheo, I don't know if he's listening, if he can send us
sure he's
video
listening.
evidence. Well, if he can send us the video evidence...
Of a poor corner that you've misplaced. And
yeah, well, send it in. We'll have a look at it in the office and we'll take it to the Dubious Goals Committee and we'll have a look for you.
Dubious Goals Committee being you.
That's me, yeah, 100%. Well, that'd be pretty obvious, wouldn't it?
You'd hope so.
Yeah. And we'll find out which one of them is telling a fib. Great touch. Andrej Rakic. Vucetic. If you wonder what we're talking about, Canberra Olympics 6, Wagga City Wanderers 2. Down in the Riverina. One of the goals scored by Nick Forst, apparently. Although Timotheo is claiming it. Julian Borgner got a brace down there. Martin Barisic got one. Zach Milacek got one. Or Milcharek. How do you say that? Is it Milcharek? Yeah, got one. And Bailey Sorensen got the other. Canberra Olympic looking very strong in that division. Belconnen United won, though, didn't they, tonight? They beat Brindabella Blues 1-0.
Yeah, 1-0.
Jake Bishop on score sheets.
Got the goal, yeah.
Important win, that one. Keeps them within touching distance of Olympic, who they play, I believe, in a week or two. Anthony Rakic. Excuse me. Matt Gudabisha. Andrej Rakic come deep to get involved. Finds Daniel Subasic. Pair of Rakic's, pair of Subasic's on the pitch. Makes it easy for me and you, Frank. And Christian Nell must wonder what he's done. Again, how many chances have they actually missed?
Well, I can't remember Nell really making a save.
He hasn't had a save to make, really, has he? They've all just gone past him.
Well, he's had 8 saves to make.
Well, I mean, but to be fair, he couldn't do anything about it, most of them, to be honest. They have been utterly ruthless again. Tempo's dropped slightly. Here's Andrej Rakic. To have a pop. Skips into the goalkeeper.
Away again down the left-hand side.
Jadric to lift it in. The bounce was awkward. Juna dealt with it. Gudabisha. Pradeshina wants to have a go. Not for the first time he fires it over the top. Got a nick this time.
Well, they have managed to wind down the clock till about 13 minutes to go, Russ, so...
Not conceded since the 63rd minute, which is a bit of a bonus. Canberra Croatia very much home and hosed with the points. Been a good day for them, the draw between Tigers and Monero Panthers, which means they'll have a 4-point lead with a game in hand on Tigers.
Oh, and goal difference has got to be massive.
The goal difference is huge, yeah. Well, the goal difference, which I'll tell you about in a second, plus 31. Not bad, is it? Anthony Rakic. Andrej Rakic. Well won by Kobe Yari. One for Jaruti to chase. He won't keep it in though. was a bit like this last week, Frank, when
Yeah.
it was 5-0 to get Selgren. It slowed down a little bit, and it's unsurprising, isn't it?
Well, it does. It comes down to that preservation again for the Canberra Croatia boys. Like they've got, right at the moment, they've got a cup final in a week's time and then a game against Monero following Wednesday. So
It's a decent ball from Martin. Pudinovic was after it. We'll settle for the throw.
I was watching an interview with Leah Williamson, the Arsenal captain in the women's, and they asked her if she'd prefer a last-minute winner or a 5-0 win. What about you, Ross?
There's a place for both, isn't there? I don't mind the last-minute winner. It's more entertaining. Come back to that in a minute. Harry Martin. And context is massive when you're talking about that, because if I'm staying up at 3 a.m. in the morning, I prefer a 5-0 and a nice quiet one so you can relax and go to bed straight after, rather than last-minute winner that keeps you awake for another hour and a half. Sanchez in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Most people at home would be with me on that. You're 5-0 up. You can just kind of wind down quietly and go to sleep at 4 o'clock and get a couple of hours in before you get up for work. Or you get a 95th minute winner and you're buzzing. You may as well stay up the rest of the night. So, yeah, there is context to it. Andrija Rakic running at Buddy Abbas and finding Marko Jadric, who's advancing on goal, can pick his spot and hits the bar. Pradajina should have been another. Vucetic still might. Jadric again. Pradajina across goal and fizzes it wide. And, well, Jadric should have added to the tally. It should be 9.
Yeah, should have scored, Russ. They just cut him apart again. This time down the left-hand side. Rakic actually introduced Jadric with a really nice ball there, and he'll be kicking himself a little bit.
Great run from Pradajina to create the more space for him as well. The air of competition has been sucked out of this one. There's not going to be another game much
again.
like this. Nell has gone forwards to win it. Where to for O'Connor Knights?
Russ, I was thinking the exact same thing. I was just going through my mind thinking, what do you say to these boys when you come back into the change room? And what do you do as coach yourself? You'd hate to think, but what do you do during the week? Do you actually have next week? I think the good thing for O'Connor is that they don't have a game next weekend with the cup being on, so they get 2 weeks grace between this game and next. But you'd almost want to just get out the park again and play, because you need to put this one to bed real quick.
Gudabashir across. Well, they have Gogarland United next. They've got a week off for the cup final, and then they play on the Wednesday night.
And do they enter the transfer window? Do they? Because, you and I both sort of alluded to it, but there's a lot of talk about players moving on.
Oh, what a pass from James. Wonderful to set Andrija Rakic away. And the young striker has an opportunity, but Buddy Abbas slams the door in his face. What a pass from James.
Good defending, though, Buddy Abbas.
Was brilliant, wasn't it? Took a while, Andrija Rakic. Maybe an introduction to first grade that you need to get your shot away a little quicker.
You do.
It's not quite 23s. The pass from Thomas James was sublime.
But that's good character there from Buddy Abbas. Like, Rakic was gone, and he made up the ground. He just didn't give up the ghost. Even at 8-1 down, he didn't give up the ghost. He kept running.
Good commitment, wasn't it?
Yep. It says a lot about Buddy and the type of person he is.
how on earth do you play Thomas James in this kind of form as a defender? You can't. You go with him and he just runs away and creates space. You don't go with him and he just causes havoc. Here's Vinny Sanchez to send it in. It's come off of Matt Gerbischer.
You're finally going to have your tea.
I've already had one tea.
In the way the whole time. You could have.
I mean, to be honest, mate, if I drink this one, it'd be a quick rush to the bathroom, wouldn't it? It'd be about 14 litres of tea in me. Oh, Bataja's horrible clearance. Sliced it incredibly straight to Cheruti, and the shot from Ahmed Shaibu is blocked. Here goes Buddy Abbas. Purinovic. Junna. Nels ball forward. Good take by Driscoll. In a game when his team's won 8-1, Jason Bataja's had an uncomfortable evening.
He has, and I guess the other thing is, for these boys that did come on off the bench for O'Connor, they've actually done a good job.
Yari, Nikola Purinovic. Drop of the shoulder, might have been better served going backward to his right foot, but does win the corner.
Got a corner out of it, yeah.
5 minutes to half-time. To half-time, to full-time even.
Yeah, I don't think O'Connor want to go through another half.
No. They'd rather not. My phone is blowing up much like yours about other things. All the songs coming from Croatia.
There's a fair chance of that happening anyway, Russ, to be honest.
From the red side of Croatia. Junna's back pass has just got enough legs to nothing. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Do you know what? I did tell you today I had a ringing headache all day. Took a couple of paracetamol. Had some chivapi and chips. Watched a bit of football. It's all good now. Vinny Sanchez. Ahmed Shaibu. I think my headache's transferred to all of the O'Connor players, but Ahmed Shaibu fires that one wide. Nika Kresic, Michael Adams. Those players that are injured are probably thinking, well, might be a good one to miss. Well, they're very proud footballers. And you mentioned the transfer window, and it's supposedly not open till next week.
Yeah,
but
although according to some of the texts we've had,
yeah,
the window is sort of...
It's ajar.
Yeah, apparently so. Like, it's a variable window. It's flexible. What's going on here?
There's a substitution with the goalkeeper.
Christian Nels off.
I think it's this young Cameron Brown. I'll just double check on my notes, because the young boy never played a first grade game of football. And he does get a debut.
Gee, I tell you what, if I was Christian Nell, I would have gone off on halfway. I wouldn't have walked past his Canberra Croatia crowd on the way back. I don't know if he's injured or it's just a...
Well, the poor lad, like I say, he's not done an awful lot wrong. He's just come up against a red wave that has just been relentless in its attack. Purinovic. And if you're going to give the young boy a debut, may as well be in these kind of circumstances.
Thomas James.
It's a lovely ball out wide from Vucicic. James advancing forward. Oh, he's just sold someone for an absolute kipper. They want a penalty. Not going to get one.
Well, it looked like a block, didn't it? I don't know if he used his hands or...
There's a fair few asking for it. I think the assistant on this near side, Ricardo Alberto, said no.
I was feeling for the young goalkeeper. I thought his first touch is going to be picking it out of the net.
Well, he's going to have to do some defending of this corner. No matter the circumstances, though, congratulations. It's always good to see another youngster get a debut.
It is.
Free kick goes the way of Canberra Croatia. And there's 90 seconds to play, plus, well, you say stoppage time, you'd think the mercy rule might come into effect.
Hopefully Bruno can read the game. And
is there one more? The double figures probably isn't coming into effect.
Yeah, I'll tell you now, and I think a lot of that had to do with Max Green coming off, because he was out, as good as Thomas James was. Max Green was just a different level tonight as well.
James over this free kick. Whips it towards the far post, and here's another. Daniel Subasic rises high and nods past Cameron Brown, whose first touch is to pick the ball out of the nets. And in the 90th minute, there's 9 for Canberra Croatia in the derby.
And what a free kick that was. If that's a set play, that's just executed to its nth degree. Subasic coming in back post, and what a delivery there from Thomas James. Basically just let it hit his head, and 9.
Maybe double figures is on the cards. Thomas James, 4 assists tonight. That's more than some people get in a season. He has relished every minute of it. From woe to go. And Canberra Croatia have 9 in the derby. And they might get another. Keegan Vucetic charges it down and can't squeeze it in.
Again, look at that. They're 9-1 up. Time's up. Vucetic is just still chasing that down and putting pressure on the young goalkeeper.
Bruno Kell is adding whatever time he's got on now. We're into stoppage time. O'Connor Knights bedraggled. Ground into the dust tonight. Vucetic. Pradashina. Still 5 up in this attack. Makes his way to James. There's not another one, is there? Thomas James. Oh, what a hit! And that's a great save from the youngster. Cameron Brown with a brilliant one-handed stop.
Well, good on you, kid. Well done. That was heading for top corner. And it would have been icing on the cake and probably befitting that Thomas James would have scored the last goal. But that's a brilliant save.
Keegan Vucetic rushing to hit the corner. They want double figures. They're desperate for it. Andrej Rakic. Marko Jadric. Subasic is up there. Couldn't direct his header this time. Driscoll away, not very far. Andrej Rakic trod on it. Now the break might be on for Purinovic. Or Chiruti, rather, who's gone over to that far side. Here's Yari. Purinovic is down the middle with him. Ahmed Shaibu. Drop of the shoulder. Save for Mateja. And he holds on to it too.
It's a very good save as well. Good break there from O'Connor Knights. A very good save.
Yeah, Chiruti made the run out wide. And drew his man away.
Yeah, and Yari did well to pick out that pass. It was a good pass.
Nicholas Subasic. Well, that's one for the highlight reel for young Cameron Brown, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Just put your hand over the top of the score and you'll be fine.
Brilliant save.
Maybe you can get the raw footage.
It was an outstanding
stop,
wasn't it?
Brilliant save, yes.
Thomas James must have thought he was making it 10. And you haven't misheard me. Jadric. Go to Bishop.
Good ball.
Juno got there. Look at the watch from Bruno Kell. Buddy Abbas. Andrej Rakic to Anthony Rakic to Nicholas Subasic. Comes off Abbas. Anthony Rakic won it back. Nicholas Subasic. Gets a free kick and a chance to load the box perhaps one final time.
Yep.
Pradashina tried to go short.
Got a reprieve there. I think the hard thing for the Knights now is with the transfer window open, there's obviously players there that are going to attract some interest, but how are they going to attract other players? If they lose players that we're thinking or we're hearing on the grapevine that they potentially could lose, how are they going to attract players?
It's going to be difficult for them, isn't it? Thomas James with the free kick, whips it in low and hard. And that'll do, says Bruno Kell. A magnificent performance from Canberra Croatia. A derby day to remember forever and a day for Canberra Croatia. One to file away in the annals of the horrible for O'Connor Knights. But Frank Asia, Canberra Croatia, 9-1 winners.
Yeah, what do you say, Russ? I mean, Canberra Croatia are excellent, and we know that. And they really are the benchmark in this competition. But that's a disaster for the O'Connor Knights. How they respond to that will say a lot about where they're, not just where their season's going, but it might actually tell a bit of a story about where their future is at. It's a big loss against a rival on a big stage Saturday night. They need to really look at what they do to come out of this in a hurry.
Thanks, Frank Asia. Good luck tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing your game against Belconnen United. Should be a crack of that one.
Yeah, it should be. Hopefully it's a bit closer than that.
Well, a long time ago, in a galaxy far away, or so it seemed, Jenna Cerruti gave O'Connor Knights the lead in the 9th minute, and we wondered, briefly. And then Canberra Croatia went to work. Max Green with 3, Thomas James with 2, Nick Pradicina with 2, Ryan Keir and Daniel Subasic made it was a derby day destruction. At Deakin Stadium, it's finished Canberra Croatia 9, O'Connor Knights 1.